Have you ever wondered what happens in your brain every time you close your eyes and drift off to sleep? Let's start with the most fundamental question: what actually are dreams? Put simply, dreams are the images, emotions, thoughts, and stories that occur primarily during REM sleep, the stage of sleep characterized by rapid eye movements. Here's something fascinating: humans almost never dream as infants, particularly before the age of 3. This is because a baby's brain hasn't developed enough neural connections to construct the complex fictional scenarios we call dreams. In fact, although infants sleep for up to 17 hours a day, researchers believe most of that sleep is devoted to brain development rather than dreaming. So when do we actually start dreaming? Neuroscientists tell us that children begin having true, narrative-structured dreams somewhere between the ages of 3 and 5, as the prefrontal cortex matures. From that point onward, dreams become an integral part of every human life. When discussing dreams, we have to start with Sigmund Freud. In the late 19th century, this Viennese psychoanalyst proposed a revolutionary idea that dreams represent wish fulfillment. He argued that dreams serve as a window into our unconscious mind, expressing repressed desires and inner conflicts that we cannot consciously acknowledge. Freud claimed that dreams are filled with symbolic meaning, where everyday objects might represent deep psychological significance. He placed particular emphasis on the symbolic roles of sexuality and aggression in dream content. His theories captivated the world and laid the foundation for the entire field of psychoanalysis. However, advances in neuroscience throughout the 21st century have given us a much more precise understanding of dreaming. Modern research has found that many of Freud's core concepts lack solid empirical support. The idea that dream symbols have universal meanings has largely been debunked. That said, Freud was correct about one crucial thing: emotions do play a central role in our dreams. Modern neuroscience has given us much clearer answers. Using functional magnetic resonance imaging, scientists can now observe the brain's activity patterns during sleep. Surprisingly, during REM sleep, the region responsible for logical thinking and rational decision-making, the prefrontal cortex, actually shows dramatically reduced activity. At the same time, the amygdala, which processes emotions, and the hippocampus, which handles memory integration, are exceptionally active. This explains why dreams often lack logical coherence yet are filled with intense emotional content. You might reunite with someone you haven't seen in years, or experience a thrilling chase, all while your rational brain completely loses its critical faculties. So what is the actual function of dreams? The leading theories suggest that dreams serve at least 3 important roles: emotional memory processing, threat simulation practice, and promoting neuroplasticity. Let's explore each of these in detail. The first major theory is the emotional processing hypothesis. This theory argues that the true function of dreams is to help us digest and integrate emotional experiences, particularly those that are too intense or traumatic to process during waking hours. Think about it: after an especially stressful day, your dreams tend to be more vivid and active. Research shows that stress actually increases both the duration and intensity of REM sleep. During sleep, our brains reactivate the emotional memories of the day, but in a safe, desensitized way. This is why sleep is so vital. It's not just physical rest, it's emotional recovery. For individuals who have experienced traumatic events, recurring nightmares may reflect a core symptom of PTSD, the brain's inability to properly process and integrate traumatic memories, leaving emotional overactivation unresolved. The second theory is equally fascinating: the threat simulation theory. This hypothesis suggests that dreaming is an evolutionary inheritance, a mechanism that allows us to practice responding to dangerous situations in a safe environment. Evolutionary psychologists point out that our ancestors faced countless life-threatening dangers in the prehistoric environment. During sleep at night, they were particularly vulnerable to predator attacks. The recurring themes of escape, fighting, and pursuit in our dreams are actually the brain's way of simulating threat scenarios, training our alertness responses and escape abilities. Interestingly, research has found that the most common nightmare themes in modern humans are exactly what the threat simulation theory would predict: being chased, trapped, or facing an attacker. Although we no longer encounter lions and tigers at night, our brains continue to protect us using these ancient mechanisms. Speaking of which, you might be wondering, why don't babies dream? This question has puzzled scientists for a long time, but now we have a clearer answer. Although babies spend considerable time asleep, including REM sleep, their brain structures are not mature enough to produce what we would recognize as narrative dreams. Dreaming requires a brain with sufficient neural networks to construct fictional scenarios, track plotlines, and recall these experiences upon waking. In fact, REM sleep in infants is primarily used for brain development and the formation of neural connections, not dreaming. This is why children under 3 typically cannot describe their dreams. Only as the prefrontal cortex and language centers mature do children become capable of constructing and recounting dreams with coherent narratives. So what is the purpose of dreaming? Science tells us that dreams are a remarkable mechanism through which our brains process emotions, simulate threats, and consolidate memories. Every night when you fall asleep, your brain diligently serves as both therapist and survival instructor. Next time you wake up recalling a strange dream, don't be bothered. You are experiencing one of humanity's oldest and most mysterious cognitive functions. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe and hit the notification bell. See you in the next one.